Hello, baby dolls. Bitcoin to $500,000. Does it need to go there to do its job? We're going to find out right now. I have an analogy for you because I know you guys love my analogy. The boys and the girls, you love the memes and the metaphors. And we're going to start with the police here. You got a little Pepe police. If you had a street with some criminals, the odd thief here and there, do you need an army tank to stop the crime? Or is having a police officer with a pistol enough? You would obviously say, yes, we don't need army tanks in every single street to keep people safe, to do its job, to make people think twice about committing crime. Okay? This cute little police officer is enough with his cute little pistol. This is exactly the story of Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin is meant to be the police of the world. World fiat, world government. Bitcoin is the government world money regulator. That's what it is, okay? That's what Bitcoin's role is. So, I want to ask you this. We don't need a tank in every street to stop crime. Have Bitcoin maxis considered the fact that maybe Bitcoin can do its job at like $100,000, $200,000? You know, maybe it doesn't need to go to 500K, a million, 5 million, 10 million. Does it do its job there? I want you to think about that because, look, Bitcoin was a great invention. We all know. Maximum perceived risky. You got huge mind-blowing returns, huge green candles, huge monster gains. But it slowed down there, huge friendship, and then something's changing. It's diminishing. However, the meme of Bitcoin maxis and the Bitcoin tribe right now is Bitcoin's going to go to $500,000. It's going to take over the whole crypto industry. I thought this too, but I'm thinking about it now. I don't think so because Bitcoin is a competitor internet currency, okay? And it's very easy when you're long Bitcoin to believe that your $500 purchase price is going to be 1,000x on side one day. I want to believe that. You want to believe that. We all want to believe that. And we can dress up any narrative and we can believe it, but we've got to challenge it. So I want you to think, if Bitcoin is a competitor to world government, does it even need to go to $1 million before governments say, we got to do some more psyops here? We got to stop this money printing as much. We got to do something else to stall it and to stop the kind of like people learning about how the real currency works. And notice my language is admitting that the government's going to keep manipulating the system. That's my language. My language is not, I don't believe that the governments are going to be going to a deflationary currency with a stable money supply and all that yada yada. That's never going to happen. You're dreaming if you think that happens. So it just makes you think, man. It makes you think. So if you believe that Bitcoin has to go to 500K, $1 million, then what you're effectively saying is, yeah, we're going to have army tanks in every street, right? Because all governments of the world are going to be on their knees and they're going to be begging for Bitcoin, put it on the treasury. Please, sir, please, can we have some of your Bitcoin? Your magic internet money, please, sir. Think about it. I don't think the world's going to work like that. I think it's not so black and white. I think there's going to be scares along the way, but I don't think it's that easy, man. I think Bitcoin's done its job. Bitcoin, the mind virus, is more important than Bitcoin number go up. Because Bitcoin, the mind virus, is creating competition of currencies everywhere for world government and world fiat. So you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, so what? What I'm doing is I'm giving you a fundamental reason why you should aim for better returns than Bitcoin. It's a beautiful gold standard of crypto, the original, the genesis, the first blockchain, yeah. But I don't think our path to killing it is going to be have 100% Bitcoin. And I want you to understand the pathway I've taken to learn about maybe the game theory of the world, how world governments are going to think about this in the future. Because really, at the end of the day, you probably don't care, and most people don't either. You want number go up. But you need perceived risk to get a big number go up. No one's calling it a scam. No one's calling it a Ponzi. No one's saying it's a terrorist coin for child abusers and weirdos. That's all done, man. Now it's just, it's the future and it's just better money and whatever, So do we need to go to 500K to a million? I'll make the case we don't need to go. I think we've done the job, man. I think the virus is already out. We've done the cure, the rat poison. We are the rat poison. We're here to kill the rats. But it doesn't need to be all the USD in the world flowing to Bitcoin, to change world government behavior. To get them to start to think about, okay, maybe we were printing too much money. Maybe we have to do more psyops. I believe in my heart there will be CBDCs. I believe they will have micromanagement control of money supply, totalitarian control over the people. CPI will remain lower, more control over economic data. That's what I believe is coming, and it's not even belief, it's really obvious, right? So if you believe CBDCs are coming, then you're effectively admitting they're going to scam the numbers. And they can. Because when they get CBDCs, man, when it's out everywhere, and there's like an economic shock somewhere, like let's say the west coast of America, I don't know, let's just say there's an economic downturn around there. The government can target stimulus to like the tourism industry in specifically the west coast. And they can go, okay, on average, people have lost, $4,000 a month income. We're just going to like use a CBDC and automatically go through the database, and they're going to give stimulus to everybody who got affected straight away. And they're going to put a time expiry on the payment. And they're going to require that $1,000 of it has to be spent on food, right? So you can see how all this manipulation, they can keep massaging, grooming the data. This keeps CPI lower. It keeps the people zombified for longer. Okay? At some point, the system breaks. But they probably might change to a new system all over again. So I want you to think about, does Bitcoin need to go to $1 million to do its job? If you're a Bitcoin maxi, and you believe one coin, one everything, of course you want to believe that, man. But I don't think so. I think that's easy to believe when you're in from $500 and we have to buy between 3 and 10K, right? The average person that's still in today. And it's easy for you to say that, yeah. But man, there's Ethereum out, smart contracts, all the altcoins. We're doing a lot of different stuff, all this innovation. The game's changing, man. So I don't think we need army tanks, man. I think we can do it with just a little pee-wee pistol for most of the job, And I have this quote here by Mr. Jason Williams. I think he's like really a Bitcoin OG, probably has a couple of thousand Bitcoin or something. And he says, if you want world peace, buy Bitcoin. This is a beautiful tweet that just appeared. It is a snapshot into the Bitcoin religion here in 2023. Okay, it's a snapshot, okay? Because the language was not that early, the language here was buy Bitcoin if you want to vote. You want to vote against bank oppression to the people. It was not buy if you want to make money. That's what the message was. And here was buy Bitcoin if you want to escape the banks, the government. Because I think this was the Cyprus narrative. Cyprus did the bank bail-in, took everyone's money. Okay. Here was ETH ICO scams and Bitcoin as well, changing the world. Here was money supply went up too much. Bitcoin's going to keep cranking up higher. But it's actually slowed down. Okay. So the religion of Bitcoin, it's progressed over time. But the case for do we need to be 500k to do the job, it's losing its legs. Which means the competition will continue to gain on it. I think Ethereum will flip it. And lucky for us, there is a chart which shows the friendship. Ethereum's nutsack is very big, okay? And the market is showing us this is happening, man. This is happening. It's showing us like in front of our face, hey, thank you, Bitcoin, you did your job. I want you to know, Ethereum is a beautiful extension of Bitcoin itself. Ethereum's ICO was in Bitcoin. Isn't that cool? Most people don't know that. Ethereum raised money in Bitcoin to give more value to the world. So we're standing on the shoulders of giants here. I think the torch has been passed. I think the market is showing us, yeah, Bitcoin, we're thankful, you do your job, but, you know, you can do your job at 1 to 5 trillion market cap. You don't need to go to 10 to 100 trillion in the next 10 years, you know. So 1 to 5 trillion market cap, 1 trillion for Bitcoin's 50k, 5 trillion is 250k. Let's go back to the chart. Let's have a look, you know. Okay. So Bitcoin, the world regulator. So we're in 2020. So 100k here and 250k here. You know, 1 to 4 trillion around here. It can do its job here. It's slow down. It can. You know, it doesn't need to go to. I know these numbers don't look much on a log chart, but here it's flipping gold. You know, and here is $1 million Bitcoin. You know, maybe maybe eventually it does get there, man. But that's a long time, friends. We're talking about a long time, like 2029, 2030, 2031. Like maybe it gets there. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does its job. You know. Because effectively, like Bitcoin has already done an amazing thing. If Ethereum continues to change the world with the power it has, then Bitcoin was it raised money, you know. Bitcoin helped fund the ICO. So, but you know, if you're holding Bitcoin, that doesn't really go into your number must go up narrative. And I'll never admit that. So, have a think about this. You need to have a think about it because at some point, all your thesis has to be tested. It really does. Are we early? Well, it depends what you think is early, man. You know, Bitcoin dominance, it's telling us as well, man. There's so many signs here. We have a tiny little green candle here, but on average, the market is just saying we want other stuff, man. We want smart contracts. So, final message. You know, maybe Bitcoin 100 to 200k. Wouldn't that be nice? But I mean, like even at 100k, you're going to be sweating bullets. You're really going to be sweating bullets because how much risk do you want to take? Imagine it goes back down, another 4-year cycle. You're going to be thinking about that. And you know you aren't too early. And you know everybody's going to be coming in. No one's talking about decentralization and all that stuff, right? The job is done, you know. What if governments, they have now learned how to massage the data to not fool the people, right? They can stop the mind virus. They can get CPI out of the headlines. CBDC coming. They can do things to squash the Bitcoin narrative besides price manipulation, right? They can slow it down. And it makes you think, well, if they're going to be trying to do that with Bitcoin, then maybe we are really better off looking at Ethereum and other stuff with endless possibilities in smart contracts and everything else they have to offer. So that's just food for thought, man. You're in the fourth cycle now, really. Fourth cycle, right? Not early. That's it. And don't forget that.